Although sound amplification devices have existed since the Romans with things such as megaphones for colosseums and anything you need to be loud, the first microphone was actually invented in the 1600s by physicist and inventor Robert Hooke. He created basically the classic two tin cans and a string situation to make a microphone. Although at this time, microphone was not used in terminology and would not be used until the 19th century. Coming back into the 1800s, in about 1827, Sir Charles Wheatstone was the first person to really use the phrase microphone. He was also a physicist and inventor, which is fun. He is actually best known for inventing the telegraph. On top of this, he's one of the first to accept the fact that sound was transmitted by waves through sound waves, which really helped the development of the microphone. Although not exactly a modern microphone, he did work on a device that could amplify sounds, which he did call a microphone. Later, when we got our first actual microphone, would be in about 1876. This is credited to Emile Bernoulli, a German-born American who worked under Thomas Edison. Bernoulli would create a vocal transmitter for their upcoming telephones. After that, in about 1878, we got a big advancement in microphones with the carbon microphone. Hold up. Okay. Shut up. The microphone Bernoulli made was the first carbon microphone. This is still value information. Carbon microphone's really good for the time. In 1916, we got our first condenser microphone. This was also made to improve the audio quality for telephones. Then after that, in about 1920s era, we would get the first ribbon microphones. A ribbon microphone works by taking a diaphragm that is a thin and long sheet of metal that is thin enough and at enough tension that the voice can actually shake the microphone. Now, these were not very durable at all, which is why they kind of fell out of fashion, and they also took up a lot of space. But you can still buy new ribbon microphones for certain cases that you would want to use them. Now, after that, fast forwarding to about 1931, where we got the first dynamic microphone. In 1957, an electrical engineer named Raymond A. Littich filed a patent for the first ever wireless microphones, although wireless microphones would not actually come into use for a long time, until about the 2000s, where they were really, really good. That was the last major development in microphone technology. We have had some new technology, such as creating clip-on microphones, which was a whole engineering thing of its own, and creating the microphones in your phones and your smartwatches and your toasters. So, we've learned about a brief history of microphones. But wait, how do they work? Yep, we're doing this. This is due in 12 hours, and I gotta fill time. All microphones work off the idea that your voice is going to send out some little wavy waves, right? Ooga, 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 ooga. This is going to hit a plate, like a little thin, imagine a piece of tin foil, right? We're going to take this tin foil. We're going to call this the wub plate. This is the wub plate. There are two kinds of wub plates. There's the non-powered wub plate, or the normal wub plate. Then there's the powered wub plate. The powered wub plate is powered by this thing called phantom power. Oh, look at that. It's the title. There are multiple different types of microphones in the world, but right now we're going to be focusing on the two main types: dynamic microphones and condenser microphones. Now, I am not remotely smart enough to explain to you how all these works, so instead I'm just going to show a clip from this guy. He's podcasted. Watch his videos. Good videos. Yeah.
As far as the dynamic microphone capsule, you have three main components: the diaphragm, the voice coil, which is actually attached to the diaphragm, and the magnet, which is permanently charged and creates a magnetic field. So how this works is when sound waves hit the diaphragm, that actually vibrates the voice coil, and with that movement of the coil within the magnetic field, it converts the audio signals into electrical signals that can be interpreted by your audio interface or by your amplifier. The condenser microphone also has three main components: the diaphragm case, which just holds everything together, the diaphragm, and the backplate. So when this capsule is charged, it generates an electrical field, and as sound waves hit the diaphragm and it moves closer and farther away from the backplate, this translates the sound signals into electrical signals.
There are many advantages and disadvantages to picking a condenser microphone and a dynamic microphone, but we're just going to go over the main ones here. Starting off with dynamic microphones. Dynamic microphones are known for being your classic radio broadcast microphone and give you that warm broadcast tone. You can see dynamic microphones everywhere, from your podcasts to your live streams, and mainly just on stage. Now, there are also many downsides to using a dynamic microphone, of course. One of the big ones being how close you have to be to the microphone to actually get usable sound out of it. As you can see with a dynamic microphone, as I back it away from my mouth very slowly, now it's about 6 inches away, a foot away, 2 feet away, 3 feet away. I have to get very loud for there to be even a semi-usable signal. Another big downside of using dynamic microphone is how quiet the output volume is before amplification. This can cause you to buy pricey accessories for some certain microphones, like notoriously the Shure SM7B, to give it enough gain so you can actually hear what is coming out of the microphone. Now moving on to the positives of condenser microphones, which you will see everywhere. The microphone in your phone, for example, is a condenser microphone, most likely. This is because they have much better range, and they are just more... Actually, no, just because they just have much better range. That's just the reason why they're everywhere. On top of that, condenser microphones are known for their high level of detail. This is why they are used in recording situations most often. But a problem with condenser microphones is that the greater range makes it so you need a more sound-treated space to use the microphone. Condenser microphones are great at picking up background noise, echoes, literally anything in your room that isn't your voice, it will pick up. But if you want to get professional sounding recordings in a non-professional room, it is more difficult. Condenser microphones also require phantom power to power the backplate and create the magnetic field. This can be an issue for some mobile setups. Another problem with condenser microphones is how fragile they are. Dynamic microphones are built very well because they have less sensitive components. This also makes them very useful for traveling shows and stage abuse. Unlike dynamic microphones, condenser microphones are not great when it comes to handling abuse. Although it's still going to hold up if you drop it, it just depends on the make and model. Although I would suggest not dropping any of your microphones. It's a very bad idea, and I don't support it. Woo, look at that. You made it. Good job. Good job.